Welcome to CT Expert Insights. When your business needs people it can trust, you can count on us. We dedicate ourselves to getting to know your needs and finding solutions to meet them. You'll have a team of experts backing you up.
Hi, I'm Greg Corombos. Our guest this week on Expert Insights is Rosario Mendez. Rosario is an attorney in the Division of Consumer and Business Education at the Federal Trade Commission's Bureau of Consumer Protection. For the next few minutes, we'll be discussing a variety of scams that are currently aimed at small businesses as we prepare to open in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. And Rosario, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
So disheartening to know that this happens, but it's certainly not a surprise. We see this in the wake of any major national calamity. You see scammers in the wake of natural disasters and so forth. So I don't think this is catching too many people by surprise. But with so many other things on the minds of business owners as they get ready to reopen or ramp up more than they already are, it's probably not the first thing on their mind. So let's just get a broad picture and then look at some of the more specific scams going on. But from what you can see so far, how pervasive is this right now? How much are business owners being inundated with scammers?
Yes, I think it's really important to talk about this topic and to talk specifically about the scams that are targeting small businesses during this time of the pandemic, because I think people forget that scammers also, go after businesses, not just individuals. And at this time, what we're seeing is that, the scammers really follow the headlines. So they know that there is money from the government going to small businesses. They know that small businesses are in need of money and in need of assistance, and they try to take advantage of that.
And there are some more common ways than others that they do that. And I know the FTC is trying to make folks aware of that. One of the biggest ways is through what's called phishing emails. Explain what those are and what you should be on the lookout for.
That's right. Phishing emails are a common practice of scammers. What it is basically is that you receive an email that looks like it's from an organization that you know. So it looks like it's from a government agency, or it looks like it's from your bank, or from another organization, but really it's a scammer behind that email. And the reason that they try to do that is because they're trying to fish for your information. So they want you to click on the links that will take you either to another page where you are asked to put your personal information. Since you're believing that it's a legitimate organization, you may do that. Or by clicking on that link, you may be downloading some malware that then is going to damage your computer or take information from your computer. Sometimes it's very hard to know how these phishing emails work and if they are real or not. It's hard to spot. For example, we saw an email that looked like it was from the World Health Organization, and it was asking for people to click on a link in order to get some information on the pandemic. And it turned out to be a scammer behind that. It was not really the World Health Organization, but it looked like it. So some of the signs to look for is, make sure that you see, the logo. Sometimes they use, appropriate logos and everything, but check for typos, check for information that doesn't really make sense to you. And really the best thing is, if you're not expecting an email from an organization, just go to the organization's website and find out the information that way better, instead of clicking on any links on the emails that are asking you for any personal information and you don't know where they're coming from.
So if you're not expecting an email that's asking you for personal information, it's not a good idea to just start filling that in. And what I've also seen from your report here, Rosario, is that sometimes it's emails that look like they're from someone even within your company. Could be your boss asking for something. And this reminds me of a recent story where I think it was Barbara Corcoran from the Shark Tank. Either her personal assistant or she were scammed out of thousands and thousands of dollars because it looked like the email was legitimate, and it turned out that there was one letter that was either missing or different, and you just didn't notice it was coming. So is it kind of the same way with emails that look like they're coming even from within your own organization?
That's right. And we are calling those business email scams. So basically, in this case, the scammer sets up an email that looks like it's from your company, from your business. And, it could look like it's from the CEO or the president of the business. It could look like it's from someone from HR. They have the ability to do this, unfortunately, if the business email is not set up in a way that can prevent this. What happens is that an employee will get this email saying, it looks like it's from the president or from the CEO or from HR, and says, we need your password immediately, or we need, the bank account number. This individual thinks that is the boss, or thinks it's someone, in the organization, and goes ahead and gives that information. In this environment where a lot of people are working remotely, what we are suggesting is that every employee just really, really checks before they give any information, even if they think that is someone within the organization that is asking. And we are also recommending that the business owners have a point of contact, like one person within the organization that can confirm these things. So if you receive an email like this, you would know who to talk to, to confirm that this request is real, or then they realize that it could not be real. We are seeing it happening also with IT, the IT departments, where like an employee would get an email that looks like it's from their IT, either their IT department or their IT contractor. A lot of small businesses don't have their internal IT department, but they will have a contractor that does that function for them. And what we're seeing is that potentially, an employee could get an email from what looks like is their IT contractor or their IT department, and that asks them to click on a link that would supposedly do an update to the computer or to one of the softwares, for example. But in reality, what that is doing is downloading some malware that could damage the entire business network if the employee is connected to the business network remotely.
We're talking with Rosario Mendez of the Federal Trade Commission. And Rosario, as you mentioned, and certainly as the FTC has pointed out, another part of this is not just to infect networks and gain personal data. There's obviously a lot of small businesses out there that have gone for loans through the Paycheck Protection Program and through the CARES Act. And so there are CARES Act related scams out there as well. What kind of form do those take? What do they look like?
That's right. Ultimately, scammers are looking for money, and so they follow the money. And what we are seeing is that there are companies out there that are putting out information saying that they are a lender for the programs that the SBA it has for small businesses, the Paycheck Protection Program, for example. But in reality, they are not authorized, and so we're seeing some problems with that. In fact, we sued a company called SBAloan.com that was doing just that, or we allege that, they were advertising themselves as a lender under the Paycheck Protection Program. They call themselves SBAloan.com. They have the symbol of the Capitol on their advertisement, so it makes it look like, they're affiliated with the government. What we allege is that they're not really authorized. They're not giving any loans related to the CARES Act. People who sign up to receive a loan from this company, not only they're wasting their time because they're not getting the loan, they're also now giving their business information to another party that they didn't intend to. So what we tell businesses is to be really, really careful with the applications and go to sba.gov/coronavirus only to apply for these loans, and not click on any advertisement that you see online, or much less on a random email that you receive from someone saying that they can get you the loan. Only go to sba.gov/coronavirus to find out who are the authorized lenders for the programs that are part of the CARES Act.
Two quick questions before we let you go here, Rosario. First of all, I know the FTC wants business owners to report scams. So how do they do that?
That's right. I think reporting scams is really, really important for us, and you can do it very easily at ftc.gov/complaint. And another good thing to do is really to talk to your employees about all these scams, because the more that you talk about it, the more people are aware, and they are going to be on the alert and avoid these scams.
Like I said at the beginning, Rosario, we kind of scratched the surface here on this. Is there any particular site at the FTC where folks can learn more about all the different scams that are out there?
Yes, we have a lot of information at ftc.gov/coronavirus. We have a daily that we're putting out daily on the scams that we are seeing related to the pandemic. We have tips and information that you can share with your employees and with your family and your neighbors. And we have a lot of information there that you can share on social media as well. It's really, we really count on everyone to spread the word about the scams that are happening so that people are aware and can spot them and avoid them.
Rosario, it's a big issue. There's so much else that's on the plate of small business owners right now. The last thing they need to be worried about is scammers. So due diligence on this is very important, as it always is, but especially right now. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Great. Thank you.
Rosario Mendez is an attorney in the Division of Consumer and Business Education at the Federal Trade Commission's Bureau of Consumer Protection. I'm Greg Corombos, and for more information on this topic, you can also head to bizfilings.com.
With 125 years of experience, CT is here to help you at every stage of the business life cycle.